Hey, how you doing, everybody? Oh, so good to see you. It's Dan. I'm coming at you live from Oak Lawn, Illinois. Beautiful Oak Lawn, Illinois. One of the garden spots of the whole planet, for crying out loud. Hey, here's a thought for you. God calls this guy named Moses to this very big task. You've probably heard of Moses, right? You've heard of one of the most famous people who's ever lived. Even if you're not religious, you've probably heard of Moses. Anyhow, this is a great story. God speaks to Moses through this burning bush. This is found. The whole story is found in the book of Exodus, chapter 3, and basically God says to Moses, I'm paraphrasing here a little bit, but basically says, I have an assignment for you. I need you to go talk to Pharaoh. Go talk to him. I'm going to have you lead my people out of captivity in Egypt. And Moses, right away, basically he objects. He tells God no. He says to God, I'm paraphrasing, but he basically says, I think you may have made an error here, God. I think we may have a case of mistaken identity, perhaps. And Moses says to God, what he says is, who am I? I'm nothing. Who am I to go traipsing in to see Pharaoh? This is the most powerful man in the whole. Who am I to be leading people? I'm not even a leader. I can't do this. Moses, in fact, later on as this story continues, Moses even kind of gets a little bit specific with God and says, I'm not, see, here's the deal, God. I'm not a good speaker. See, I'm not a leader. I can't. He says, I get tongue-tied. Moses is pointing out that, most good leaders typically can, talk pretty well. They rally the troops and they're sort of articulate and can lay out the vision and all that. And Moses is saying, that's not me. Did you forget? I'm not, I stand up to speak. God, I get it messed up. I'm always stammering and stuttering, and I'm not the guy. I'm not a speaker. I'm definitely not a leader. Try to find somebody else. Hey, friends. It is possible. We need to know this. It is possible that God will call a person to do something. This happens. God will call a person to do something for which the person feels unprepared. The person feels incapable. The person feels like they're not equipped to do whatever God is calling them to do. God may call a person to do something, and sort of like the natural reaction of the person might be, what? I can't do that. That's see, God, that's not in my skill set. I don't have the giftedness for that. Or I'm too young, or you see, I'm too old, or I'm not smart enough, or I'm not strong enough, or I don't have enough education, or I've got too much education for that one, or I don't have the connections. I don't have the money. I've got no financial resources to pull that. I don't have the time. Hey, look what time it is. I don't know the movers and shakers in that industry. I don't know anybody. So many other people could do this so much better than I could. Objection, 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 objection. And God, you can't possibly, no way, you can't possibly be calling me to do this. And I think it's important, I think it's helpful for us to keep in mind that actually this is what God does. He calls people to do things that they can't do without him. God does that. Yeah. Now, however, keep this in mind. Whenever God calls anyone, if God calls someone to do something, he will always do two things. He will always equip the person, and he will always go with the person. Somehow or another, he will equip the person to do this, whatever it is. If you'll take the step, he'll equip, and he'll be with you. See, if God has God called you to do something? Is God calling you to do something? If you will take a step in faith and obedience, he will equip you. And I don't know specifically how, because it's specific to each case, but he will equip you for this task. And if you'll take the step and you'll move out in obedience to him, you will not go alone. He'll go with you. This is part of what we're going to be talking about on Sunday, April 23rd. Come and join us. First Church of God in Oakland. If you're somewhere in the greater Chicago metroplex, come and join. First Church of God, 4600 West 111th Street. You say, Dan, what time are the services? Get a pencil. Get a pencil. Service times 9 a.m. or 11 a.m. Either one, 9 or 11, Sunday morning. Come and join. If you'll come, you'll enjoy. You'll be blessed. I promise you. You will be blessed if you'll come. Come on.